By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of the series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I'm getting to a smorgasbord of sex and relationship topics with the help of special guest co-host and punk rock porn darling Joanna Angel. Thanks for listening. You often ask me about new ways to connect with your partner and keep things super hot. Well, I've got the solution that will add adventure to your sex life in all the right ways. The Jive from WeVibe is the perfect way to experience discreet pleasure that you can wear alone or have a partner control. It's an insertable vibe that allows you to feel pleasure wherever and whenever. And when you pair it with the WeConnect app on your phone, you can cycle through the Jive's 10 vibration patterns. Wear it on your date night or running errands. Hey, there's no rules. It's also fun to build custom vibes so you experience different sensations, or hand control over to your partner and let them surprise you, whether they're across the table or across the country. And because it's from WeVibe, you know this thing is packing the power. To get your Jive, visit sexwithemily.com/WeVibe. That's my site, sexwithemily.com/WeVibe today.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's gotta have her standards. Oh my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com, where you can so easily subscribe to the podcast, ask us a question. Oh my God, there's so much. Easily, right there from the website. Ask. Or you can go shopping. We've got a store. You can follow us on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Sex with Emily, and Facebook.com/sexwithemily. And you can also download us now on Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify, in addition to iTunes, which is very exciting. I'm so excited for my guest, my little co-host here.
Hi.
Joanna.
How are you?
Hi, Joanna Angel.
I'm very excited too.
I know. This is great. I mean, you've been on the show as a guest, but I'm just like, let's do this. Let's do this together.
Let's share this.
I know. I love it. Well, we're now into September. Mm-hmm. And September is, for our show right now, we've declared it like, it's back to school.
Right.
We're saying that September is back to Sexual Confidence Month.
Oh,
so we're going to be having giveaways all month. We're going to help people have better sex, and it all starts with confidence.
It really does. I feel like anytime people ask me sex advice questions, I just feel like I keep repeating myself, where it's like, you have to have more confidence. You have to have more confidence. And that's easier said than done.
Exactly.
So
we're going to be giving some tips all month. And then last month, as you know, Anal Sex Month.
Was it?
Yeah, you missed anal sex.
I missed anal sex. I had a lot of anal sex last month.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. I did. Okay, good. I want to hear all about that. Because we did a great podcast called Elevated Anal with Dr. Hernando Chavez. Do you know Hernando? I don't know if you know him. He was great. It was really funny. He came for the kickoff podcast, and he was like running across the street with butt plugs, and they were like almost fell off the street. It was a very funny show. But you had a lot of anal sex. Do you like anal sex?
I do. I love anal sex. I really do like to have it.
So what is it that you love about it?
It's just this really different sensation. Ever since the first time I had it, I was like, wow, this is so cool.
Right.
It's kind of like, and I remember the first time I did it, I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was like an option.
Exactly. No one tells us. I mean, now people know.
Yeah,
but we didn't know.
No, that was
up.
before anal was like every other word.
Anal's literally every other word. Every other question is anal. So, and can you have orgasms from anal?
I can.
Right.
Yeah, I can. It's a whole different kind of orgasm. It feels completely different. But I think the strongest orgasms I have are, when there's like something in my ass and someone's rubbing my clit at the same time. It's like a really
you're
crazy. I like transport to a different universe. So it's really fun. And I don't think anal sex is something people should have like every single day,
right?
If that's not what you're used to,
right? It's kind of like you ease into it.
Yeah,
lots of lube. What's your best anal sex tips? Like, what have you learned over like doing anal sex?
And also, I do think I was blessed. I guess like I never had a problem with anal sex. I think some people's bodies are more. Are more built for the not. I know I've directed a million pornos, and I remember,
close to a million. Yeah, you guys, if you want to see her pornos. By the way, if you don't know who I'm talking about, you're like, who's Joanna Angel, which I assume you all know who she is. Go to burningangel.com because she's a porntrepreneur.
Yeah, I liked it. I think that was a great word. I'm a porntrepreneur.
And so she's got her own site. She makes her own porn. She stars in porn. She's got a lot going on there. And she's at Joanna Angel on Instagram and at Joanna Angel on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you've directed so many films.
Yeah, I've directed so many films, and I remember I used to be a little bit insensitive, and I didn't get it when girls would be like, "Oh, I'm so scared to have anal sex with that guy." I'm like, "Oh, whatever. It's easy. Just put it in." I gave the worst anal sex advice ever. Because I just always had a really easy time with it, and then I realized I'm like, okay, not every girl can just
lube, but they don't show you in porn.
A dick in your ass,
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, okay, I have to give them better advice.
Do you tell them to use lots of lube?
Yeah, but I think more important than lube is being relaxed. You put a ton of lube on you, but if you're really tight and really uptight, and and your body is just like saying
anal.
No, a whole bottle
if
of
you're
lube,
anal in the type A way,
then nothing's gonna happen.
It's true. Breath. We talked a lot about that. So you got to breathe because we tense when we're nervous,
right?
And you're tensing your ass up. Your
get yourself off. Like I've told girls, just like masturbate a little bit, just so your body is just kind of like looser.
Exactly.
More receptive. But I mean, I'm actually like, there's a lot of positions that I can't handle giant penises when they're in my vagina, which is really weird.
No, there's a lot of people that can't.
But my ass is like some vacuous hole.
It's open. It goes and goes. That's amazing. You're like, that ass, not in my vagina. In my butt. Let's go.
I know. When I used to perform a lot, when I was younger in porn, I did way more scenes than I do now. I remember there was like a spurt where I did a scene every day for 20 days or something crazy like that. And I remember on the last 5 days, this was when I still worked for other people. I remember on the last few days, I was booked for scenes that weren't anal scenes, and then I remember just being like, "Can we just? I just want to have anal sex." And the director would be like, "But it's not." They give me this awkward look. I'm like, "I don't care if you don't pay me for it.
Right.
My vagina is sore, and my other
girl.
hole." Yeah, I know. Right?
That is so funny.
I always it was one of those things. I remember reading about anal sex. I mean, do you know Tristan Taranino?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So I remember reading her book, actually. Once upon a time, a long time ago, when I was in college, I was an intern at nerve.com.
Oh,
that website
of course.
was so crazy. So yeah, and I remember meeting Tristan there, and everyone at Nerve was like, yeah, she's this woman, and and she wrote a book about anal sex, and I was like, whoa. And I had never heard anyone just openly talk about anal sex at that point in time. This is a different time.
I'd say
that was 15 years ago.
Exactly.
Now.
I'd say it was about 12 years ago.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Anal came on the scene.
I think she started it.
Yeah,
I think she kind of started it where all these intellectual, especially in New York. I mean, I was living in New York at the time. It was I felt like I heard her talk about anal sex, and then I just started hearing everyone talk about anal sex.
And then also
before that, no one was talking about
I mean, when I was in high school, it wasn't even, no one was trying.
I had absolutely,
it wasn't an option.
No idea.
Never heard of it.
That was a thing.
Right.
I know.
I love that I'm with you. I had no idea.
It was a different time.
Right. It was a different time.
How old are you?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm like
you're 19.
40, yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, I'm 24. You're 21.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, it was exactly. It was just like that. So now it's funny because we do get all those questions. But now I've been saying lately because and I was going to ask you too the trends because you've been in this business for a long time as well, right?
It's been a while. It went by fast. It's
but
like
I feel like
felt like I was a
mean,
new girl in porn. Now I blinked. And
no,
I'm a
but now you're
veteran.
like the
I
star of porn. You have your own porn empire. But it's like I was thinking that when I started, I always said like anal's the new blowjob. Like anal was becoming more normal, like a blowjob, and now I feel like squirting's the new anal. Like everyone wants to know about squirting.
Obsessed with squirting.
Squirting, right?
Yeah.
That also, right? Don't you think it was more that people saw it in porn?
Yeah,
and
they
were
did.
Like,
They saw it in porn, and I mean, I'm really. People are always like, "How do you squirt? How do you squirt?" I don't squirt very often,
right?
You know, and it's. I honestly don't even.
I don't have orgasms with it.
I don't really love the feeling. Like it happens sometimes,
right.
but I get so. It's hard for me to keep having sex after I squirt because
right.
I get kind of sore and tense.
Yeah, and like stuff's coming
it's
out.
almost like a little painful for me. It feels like someone like reached inside of you and like pulled an orgasm
exactly.
out, instead of it just kind of coming naturally. So everyone who's like
right.
so obsessed with squirting, I'm like,
it's the guys, right? Because they think that it's like this otherworldly thing they were able to have a woman.
Yeah, I mean,
perform.
a lot of the times it really is pee. You know.
It
doesn't
mix,
mean you're
right.
peeing on someone.
It has
It's just,
It has
right.
elements of pee.
I think I heard Dr. Drew explain it scientifically once.
The periurethral glands. There's some fluids from there, but there is urine mixed in.
Right.
You know?
So it's just
that happens.
Anyway.
So people are obsessed. But can we go back to
But
Joanna,
this is sexual confidence.
No. I was telling you that because I wanted to kick it off.
Okay.
And the funny thing is when you walked in, is you said to me, "Do you guys get a lot of the same emails?" I'm like, "Well, we kind of do." There's same genres of emails, and we're starting to take callers and voicemails and stuff. But then we talked about, and it was funny because you said, "Well, confidence. Everyone wants to know, like, how do you build your confidence?" And I'm like, "I know," and it's really like it is the most important thing, like in your life. Like I always say, like if you do anything, if you cultivate confidence,
right?
Like
you walk
spend
into
your life,
a room, and you know when you're really unconfident, people can see that.
But how do you explain it? So like what would be your like? Yeah, I mean, we'll get to some emails too, but I'm always like, you just have to work on those demons in your head that are telling you that you're otherwise
beyond sex. But I think they get interwoven with each other.
They do.
I really think if I could go back in time, like I wish I would have masturbated more before I had sex. I really do think masturbation makes women in particular way more confident.
Right.
I honestly don't know about that. With men, that's a whole different thing.
But with men, I think that no, but it's true. Well, it's funny you say that because starting with talking about sexual confidence, we actually did a video. What you wish you learned. It's on our Instagram page. It's called. It was like maybe a few weeks ago or a few months ago. It was what do you wish that you learned in sex ed? And then a bunch of people commented. You guys can still comment on there, and it was like, I wish I learned about masturbation. Like it never even occurred to me to masturbate growing up. Like I never even thought to touch myself. Either. And so, but once I started to, eventually I was like, oh, I get it. And so I do tell women all the time, like the more you know about your body, what makes you feel good. But for the guys feel like they need to have a playbook and they need to know exactly what to do. But the good news is that every woman's body is different. So, so as long as you're just like listening, paying attention, asking questions, not too many, but like just watching what's going on and you're not so in your head, that'll help you have more confidence. The more women you're with or partners, men, whatever you're with, you'll feel better. But it also starts with I hate fake it till you make it, but
it's part of loving yourself.
It's part of loving yourself.
It makes sense. Like the first time I ever had an orgasm, it was from another person. Now I'd never felt that before, and I felt so out of control,
right?
And like then it was like, oh, I really liked that feeling. If I want to experience that feeling again, that person needs to do that same thing to me again. So then I start acting, kind of like pathetic. You start acting pathetic, because you don't think you could do it to yourself. No, it didn't even occur to me. It's so weird to think that I was that same that I'm thinking of myself. Like I want to like go back in time and be like,
exactly.
What were you thinking,
You don't need to see that person again.
You don't need to see that person. He's not the only thing that can make that thing happen to you, And it's like I didn't even start masturbating until a couple of years after I started having sex, and it's like I felt like it just relaxed my entire personality.
Right, it does.
It really does change you, where you're not like just this big ball of stress kind of walking around looking for someone else to teach you how to enjoy yourself, like Does that
No,
make
you're
sense?
no. I
You
mean,
know?
I'm just like yes. I mean, that's why I always say it's interesting you say that, because another one of the very common questions we get asked is, from women and men who like have low sex drive, low libido, or they're not interested in sex, and a lot of it is because stress and anxiety is one of the biggest killers of our sex drive. And so, by masturbating, you will feel more release, and you will feel less stressed. It does
will
release
help
those
other
feel good hormones
aspects of your life.
Exactly.
You'll like notice,
and then you'll get more in the mood for sex.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be more motivated in other aspects of your life.
Right.
I mean, everything kind of.
It all works together. It's like it's like exercise. Like you need to exercise, you need to masturbate. Like and men, I don't have to convince as much, but for women, if you haven't in a while and you're like, just like start.
Take 10 minutes in the shower,
Use a toy, whatever works.
Yeah.
Do you use toys? What do you do?
I just use my fingers. If I use a toy, I use a Hitachi.
Right.
Those are
Magic
just the
wand,
best.
the best, right?
They are. They're the best. It's like every
do you have
woman's best friend.
The cordless one, the rechargeable?
Yeah, I have that one. I have a couple.
I'm sure. Of
ones,
course you do. You got it.
But really, my fingers are great. I probably just do that the most. I know it's kind of a bummer because I have so many friends and that work with toy companies. They always want me to be like, "What do you use when you masturbate?" I'm like, "Nothing."
No,
I'm sorry.
That's great.
I don't mean to take away business from all the amazing products that are out there.
It doesn't do that at all. I mean, if women, I think the thing is, I can do it with my hands, but I also just like vibrate. It's just a different kind of orgasm. It feels different.
It's different.
So it's like however you get off, like it doesn't matter, but just like do it. Like start to just work that into your routine. Because even with my job, it's like my job to masturbate because we do get products. I know I get products sent to me, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta try this. And I even find myself that I don't make time sometimes. Of course, those who can't, I'm teaching it, but then I start to, and I go home and I do it, and then I'm like, no problem. It's like exercise. Like if you don't do it for a while, it's hard to do it, and then you do it again, and you're like, I want to exercise every day, or a few times a week. So now I'm like, also Kegel exercises do the same thing for me. When I do my Kegels more, I like feel like my whole your whole pelvic floor, the G spot. I'm like, I want sex more.
Yeah, I think that's.
Do you have G spot orgasms?
Really I do. Yeah, I do. They're a little more difficult,
right?
And I can't even I feel like when I have one, I'm like, yeah, I got to remember this position so I can do it again. Right,
exactly.
And then I don't even remember.
You don't remember it? Right. I know, right? Because then it's like this magic thing happens. That's what people have to understand. Like, it's
I think it moves. It must move.
The moving G-spot. Someone asked me, like, could my G-spot be in the back? I'm like, I don't think it moved. But that's so true. Like, but when you're doing a scene, so you were just talking about early on when you did 20 scenes in 20 days.
Yeah, or something like that.
Did you, and you're like, I just want to do it. Does that mean that you were always having pleasure with the people you were with? Were you having it was all...
Yeah, I mean, I can.
You come easily.
Yeah, I guess I come pretty easily.
And you enjoy
Which
it.
is sometimes a bad thing in porn,
You're like, wait for it.
Yeah, because I get so tense and stuff,
Can you hold it? Have you learned to hold it?
Yeah. I think
that's
over
a skill.
time, it's like people, fighters develop those cauliflower around their ears, and people play guitar, get calluses. My vagina learned how to.
Your vagina's like, wait for it. It's like going underwater, holding your breath. Okay, hold this orgasm. That's amazing. So now you've learned a ton about sex, right? But you're in a relationship, though.
I am. I am in a very happy relationship. And it took a while to get there, and a lot of it had to do with just having confidence and loving yourself. And I like to talk to other women about this stuff because I was a mess when I was younger. I was a very, very not confident.
And you're in your 30s, right?
I'm 35.
Right.
I was so insecure when I was 18 years old. I didn't even want to be naked in the shower, I would take my clothes off and put clothes right back on afterwards. I was uncomfortable with my body. I was not born with the thing I have now. I had to really change myself and really work on myself.
What was the first steps of that? That's really interesting.
Well, I think, I don't know.
So you had that orgasm with the guy.
Yeah, I had that.
You're like, that's a good motivator.
Yeah, I know. I mean, really, masturbating helped me, and just, I don't know. I wasn't happy and comfortable in my own skin, and I think I knew that was a problem, and I wanted to change it. I made a conscious effort to change it. A lot of it was reading books and stuff by women that were strong and powerful and very sexual, like Tristan Taormino or Nina Hartley at the time. And I would go to lectures and stuff. New York City had a really big scene for stuff like that. So
I
started just kind of I was a nerd, if I had a problem, there was a book that had an answer.
It's so
I was having sexual
that's
problems.
amazing. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, listen to podcasts, like read books, like and
now
guys
it's
too,
so easy to. There's so much information.
Go online,
everywhere.
go to my website. I believe me, we've answered your question in a blog, a post, a podcast, or it is true. But you're right. It's like find that information, like seek it, and then now you're right. It's not just books. If you learn by listening, you learn by watching videos. Like it's out there.
Yeah, and I just kind of like acknowledge like this is a problem and I'm not happy. I need to change it. And I think also just like I was starting to feel like pathetic. I would get in these relationships with these guys and they would just like totally break my heart and I'd be so devastated. I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm like completely letting men take over my life. Like I'm like not showing up to class because some guy doesn't want to date me, like that's weird. Like I just kind of had to snap out of it one day. I'm like, I need to be happy by myself, I need to be happy in my own skin. I need to wake up in the morning just like, I don't know, I just knew something
that
needed
is
to
so
change.
that is the healthiest. This is what
it hurts me when I when women are just feel that like
they do
devastation,
and it's true, and it's like and usually we feel that devastation. Believe me, we've all gone through that. It's like because we're already feeling maybe not great about ourselves, low self-esteem. We don't even realize like the negative things. And then so if a guy is corroborating and saying, well, I don't want to be with you, you're like, well, see, nobody, I'm not lovable. And it's not even about that person.
It's not,
it's about you. So I always say like after a breakup or even before you get into like a series of, because I used to be a serial monogamist. I'm like, I just need time alone. Like, and now
it's important to really get
that's
to
how
know
you figure yourself
yourself
out. But we're so addicted to that cycle of being in a relationship and the honeymoon phase.
It's society's fault. Everything is like
Blame
geared
society.
towards couples.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everything everywhere is like makes it seem like you need to have this.
Right, but you don't.
This thing.
You don't need it, but I think you're better suited for one once you figure out your own stuff and you know what you want.
Yeah.
Because we get into relationships a lot of times when we're younger at all ages just because there's an attraction or they're sexy. But if you really know, like, no, I want a guy who treats me well or who has a good job or is great and better, open sexually. Makes me happy.
Women
we like doing the same
that.
things, whatever it is. Right. And you got to figure that out. Because then you'll go out with guys, you'll be like, oh, he doesn't meet any of these things that I need.
Exactly.
And you won't spend 6 months with them.
And I think a lot of women forget the whole purpose of sharing a life with someone, whether it's another woman or a man or whatever. Like they're supposed to make you happy. You're supposed to make each other happy.
Right.
I think a lot of women get in this mindset where they're like, I need to show them that I'm this. I need to show them that I'm this. I need to do this. Like it's like a job application, or something.
Right. And I'm going to provide all this stuff, and I'm
supposed to be a connection.
Right.
It's supposed to be two people.
How'd you meet your boyfriend?
I needed he owned a printing company.
Right. And that's how
ironically
I met him
that's
too.
how you met my boyfriend.
Yeah, on the phone.
Yeah.
He did my business cards like 10 years ago.
I know. See, it could have been your boyfriend. I guess
Damn it. You already got him and he's a good one.
But yeah, I ordered t-shirts from him. And then I talked to him as just a customer for a while.
Right.
And then, I don't
That's
know,
good.
at some point,
And now you guys have been together.
Yes. Now
wow. I
it's
love
been
it.
over 4 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, you seem good. Your business is booming. I love that. I love that you're here.
This is fun.
I know, right?
Yeah, I want to see what your viewers or your listeners have to say.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, please.
We need to help them.
We want to help them. So let's keep going. Let's get into a little bit of sex and news, and we'll get to some emails. Okay. So schools in France will use 3D models of the clitoris in sex education classes, which I think is amazing because, I mean, did you have sex? Obviously, did you have sex education? We're like talking about it.
Barely.
Right.
Yeah, barely.
They're like, I don't even remember. Like, here's the baby.
I barely remember.
Like the uterus. It was nothing that seemed useful to me. And you might get your period. But there are many useful things people wish they learned during sex ed, like what consent actually looks like and whether it's healthier to shave your pubic hair than to keep it intact. Exactly. So now French school children will learn about female pleasure with the most pragmatic guide of all, a 3D printed model of the clitoris. And it's so interesting because so the scientist, Philo, he has educational sculptures to teach the biology of female pleasure. And he says women get erections when they're excited, only you can't see them because most of the clitoris is internal. So I want to show that men and women are not fundamentally different. So this is pretty out there. I mean, I love it. We're saying in Europe, they're so much more open, you know.
I mean, this is so advanced.
This is so, I love it though, because I didn't even know that. Like that like it's,
how old are the people?
These are like primary and secondary grade. So probably like middle school and high school. It says sexist stigmas often keep people from exploring the biology of female pleasure or even female anatomy in general, which is what I wish I learned in sex ed. So an American teacher in Michigan, where I'm from, was fired for saying the word vagina during an art history lecture, just like this year. Yep. And also this mentality perpetuates sexual inequality, the fact that straight women have fewer orgasms than their male partners. So they think this guy's like, I'm just going to teach it without shame. And, but he even says that France has a reputation for being sexually sophisticated, but often it's about male sexuality, which is most things about male sexuality. So how cool is that? Because I always say, well, it has 8,000 nerve endings and it's not just your clitoris when we talk about masturbation and pleasure. It's like, it is internal. It does swell. It is like the legs of the clitoris and there's just so much going on there. We said it's easier sometimes when you have a clitoral orgasm because then it's easier to have a G-spot orgasm or anally you get pleasured. So I love that he's like showing like it's not just the little button.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
That's really amazing.
We should be doing that here. I mean, people don't know that it's like a penis that like swells and
so sex ed, they're actually teaching people
bring
how
the
to
clitoral.
enjoy sex more,
that's
not just. Yeah, that's
not just how not to have kids.
Yeah,
have a baby. But they're like, here's the clitoris. We're gonna blow it up for you. I mean, I want that. I want to like carry that around wherever I go. Yeah. I want to get like a blow it up or something.
Well,
like
maybe
carry
I
like a
could
balloon.
send them my fleshlight.
Yeah.
You know,
you have a fleshlight too. That's
I
right.
have a fleshlight. They could use the fleshlight.
I
don't know why he
we had
spent all
dinner.
this time building a 3D thing.
Fleshlight,
They should just use the fleshlight.
I want your fleshlight. Do we have? I want it.
I'll bring one.
Okay, so everyone can buy your fleshlight too. Fleshlight. Go to my website. Click on the banner. Or do you have a
fleshlight.com?
Yeah, fleshlight.com.
I've got one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you molded it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do that. Just get Joanna's fleshlight.
Yeah, just get my fleshlight. We can send it to the high school in France, apparently.
This is good business too. Right. I love that idea. Okay. So now we're going to get into the emails. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to help the people. And we're going to give a little shout out to our sponsors. So thanks for supporting them. And we'll be right back. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening to the show. Hello, Joanna Angel. Awesome co-host today. So glad we're doing this.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
I know.
It doesn't even feel like we're actually working.
Right? That's the business model here.
We're just getting coffee.
Exactly. We're getting coffee and talking about anal sex. Now, right now, we're going to talk about sexual fetishes. So thank you for emailing me, first of all. And you can email me at feedback@sexwithemily.com, but you can also easily ask it right from the website, the Ask Emily button. And now we're taking your voicemails, 818-ASK-SWE1. That's 818-275-7931. We're getting great calls. It's really fun. You'll hear that.
Yeah, I'm
next
super
time.
excited.
Okay, so here's our first email. Hey, Emily. First of all, I think you're absolutely gorgeous, but you knew that. Oh, thank you. I'm single and dating, mostly online dating, and a lot of women will ask me, usually on a first date, what I'm into sexually, especially whether or not I'm a boob or butt guy. I have a mild foot fetish, and in most of my previous relationships, I never really had to tell my partner. I would just slowly introduce it in the bedroom, and they would always be on board with it because by that time, we already liked each other. This isn't something I feel comfortable talking about on a first date, and fortunately, every girl so far thinks it's pretty normal. I wanted to ask if you were on a date with me and asked me that question, and I gave a vanilla answer, but then later on in the bedroom, I introduced it or mentioned it if you would feel that you were lied to. Thanks, Emily, you rock. Paul, age 34, Connecticut. So Paul, to break this down here, he says that he's got a foot fetish. So we know that if you have a foot fetish, like he requires a foot to be present for him to have an orgasm, sexual satisfaction. But with online dating, and people are asking him, he's like, I don't want to just bust it out like when I've never met the person. So he's saying if we went on a first date and he's like, what are you into? And he didn't answer. But then in the bedroom, he was like, show me your feet. Like he wants to know like what's the best process for that.
Yeah.
What I think he was lying. I don't think that you should lead on the first date necessarily. No. But what do you think? Because you're more also into like the kink fetish world than I am.
Yeah.
But he does sound like he's dating.
I mean, dating is a tough thing anyway. It's like you're sitting down with a person and
you've never met.
Yeah, and you're both kind of thinking like, are we gonna have sex with each other or not?
Right.
Like, do I want
That's
to
all
have
we're
sex
thinking.
with this person?
We're not looking at the menu.
Yeah, we're just like, is this someone I might want to have sex with or not? That's at the end of the day what you're doing.
Right.
Which is awkward enough as it is, and then to bring in like a fetish, could make it more awkward. I mean, but that really all depends on the person.
Exactly.
Like if you just start talking about sex, then bring it up, but I wouldn't be like, hey, like, do you want to order the salmon or the chicken? Like,
Right.
oh, by the way, I like feet.
Right,
You know?
exactly. I wouldn't just throw. I would see
Like,
how
if you're talking about sex anyway, then bring it up. But I think feet, you shouldn't be embarrassed. Like, it's not like you'd have to be kind of in a heavy moment with someone if you're gonna get to that point anyway. Like it's not like if you're making out with someone you're gonna start talking about your foot fetish,
right?
Like you'd have to be like.
I think it is sometimes better. I don't think that it's something that he necessarily feels that he has to bring up over lunch, over dinner.
It feels like he's ashamed of it or something. Like there's something wrong with him and he needs to get it off his chest.
Exactly.
Like
I gotta tell him right away.
STD.
Right, exactly. Which you should tell before you have sex with someone.
Right.
But I feel like if you're with the right person, and he says he's had success in the past and nobody freaks out. So I think just like you would in the past, if it comes up and it's like in a clinical way, like you're at lunch with a date and she's like, so what are you into sexually? I mean, see if she seems like a cool chick. Like, I think you're going to know what to do. You can say that you like to experiment, explore, you're open to trying new things, you're open. But if this is your thing and you need it, like you're like, oh, I'm really into feet. Like, I can't wait to see your feet and give you a foot massage. I mean, that could freak her out. But if it did, then she's not even the one that you want to be with.
Exactly. You could drop it subtly and be like, oh, you have beautiful feet. I'd love to give you a foot rub later.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Drop it there.
That's a subtle hint. And if she's like, ew, gross, now I don't like it when people touch my feet.
Right. Then you're going to know.
Then you might know. Like, okay.
Because sometimes it's better to know sooner than later. Exactly. But he doesn't want to. And he says every girl's just like, yeah, I think he's fine. I think you got to feel this out.
Like he's overthinking it.
Yeah,
just let it come. Yeah,
it'll come naturally. You'll know the right time. You'll know if it's the right person.
To be ashamed.
And here's the other thing. I don't tell. I mean, I'm not like I really want you to. If I'm sitting down with a guy, like you need to spank me. Like if we haven't had sex yet, I think you're feeling like you're withholding this major thing. This is something that you're into. Like it's fine. Like I don't think that you. Yeah,
nothing
you
wrong
feel like
with the foot fetish.
Nothing wrong with it. We're all good about it.
Yeah, there's something wrong with the person that's grossed out by your foot fetish.
She's not the right person for you.
This isn't like the level of like a pee fetish, which I mean, I don't have a problem with pee fetishes,
right,
but there's going to be a lot of people that, that's something you have to ease into depending on the person.
And there's a lot of things sexually. I don't know if you find this.
Who doesn't like their feet being rubbed?
I would like to find. No, I shouldn't say this. I'll get someone who has like, will you give me a foot massage every day? Like I'm just so down with your foot fetish. But I think like just like sex, there's people who aren't into anal. There's women who don't like receiving or giving oral sex, and same for men. There's men who don't like. So it's like. There's not a one size fits all sexual menu that we all fit in. We all want the same thing. So you'll find that groove with someone. So I like that you're owning it and you've had success in the past and you'll continue to have success. So don't trip on it, Paul. We're with you here. We got your back.
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Emily, my boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. He is 25 and I am 22. We have an active sex life and are very open and communicative in our relationship in both sexual and non-sexual ways. He's very good about listening to and doing the things I like, and I do the same for him. I'm bisexual and I enjoy being with women, so we've tossed around the idea of having a threesome with another woman. We're both excited and in favor of this idea, but the problem is we don't know where to start. I have been involved in threesomes before, but as the third person, and it wasn't planned. Any advice would be fantastic, as we're both a little lost on the matter. Elizabeth from Central Valley, California. She's 22. So, and you have threesomes, right, in your relationship. You guys are, right. So I thought, I always say there's different sites, start meeting like people in your town, like there's like bookstore, like I was thinking about Good Vibrations, or there's a place online, but
it is hard because the best threesomes really aren't planned.
That's so true,
and nobody wants to hear that answer.
I know. I'm so sorry. Right, it's so true. My best threesomes are like a friend. We're not attached. I've talked about that, but like
I think, but she's got to do it. It's got to be.
She's got to be attracted to the person.
It's got to be about her. If sometimes when couples are looking for it together, it can come off creepy if you're not in the right environment. If you're at a swingers party or something like that, then it's totally different. That's kind of like
they're in Central Valley. I'm trying to think what's there for play parties.
I think she's got to just. If she says she's into women, she's got to
go
turn that on.
Turn it on when you're out
with women.
You guys could even be at dinner, go to a bar, and I mean, this could maybe. But if you start talking to a woman, like you could kind of like, how have you guys done it? I mean, you probably
we kind of live.
You've got like people living in that world. Okay, so I always say there are right. You're like they like show up at my doorstep. They're waiting in line at your house right now.
Yeah, but really, the best threesomes are not planned, and there are definitely girls all the time that that tell
unicorns.
us, like, hey, I really want to have a threesome with you guys. And, but the ones that we've had that have been, the most fun have just been like,
organic.
It just kind of happened,
Right. But they might not, but Elizabeth might not be having people over her house that are just like,
right. That are
so
just
I'm
horny
thinking like
people,
also like there are the
But
sites.
if she is into women,
should
she's
find
got
them
to
in
turn
person.
that on. She's got to
That's a good
go
advice.
out like she's a single lesbian girl, you
Right,
know, and
right.
find a girl.
There's gotta be
She's gotta
clubs.
leave her
There's gotta be
boyfriend,
lesbian
I
night.
think, out
Right.
of the equation. Let her
That's
find
good
a girl,
advice.
and maybe the girl just wants to fuck her. Maybe the girl wants to fuck both of them. And her boyfriend's got to be okay with the fact that she's the bisexual one. She's the one with an interest in women. She might find a woman that only wants to be with her, and he could just kind of sit and watch,
Right.
or he could hear about it the next day, or he could be in the next room, or whatever. This is more about her exploring her
Right.
bisexual side.
Exactly, and not shutting it down. I mean, there are sites people talk about, like what are the sites like FetLife and Cassidy
Right.
and stuff like that.
And you
what's
can
the
put
other
it out
Adult
there.
Friend Finder, but you just
Right.
also, I think that is
gonna
a
be
great
more
point. It's more like
fun.
it's more fun if she
Yeah.
meets someone that she's a real connection to.
Yeah, go out and turn your radar.
Turn it on.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. It's probably been shut down for a while. I think it'd be fun because
It's
then it's
true.
more
If
natural.
you haven't explored that in a long time, just
Right.
go
I like
out and
it.
do it
Perfect. Okay.
and have
That-
fun in the process.
Yeah, have fun, right? Like flirting again, and
Yeah.
but also make sure they have boundaries. Like he might say to her, if you meet someone tonight, I don't want you going home and having sex without, you know what I mean, without me, because that would be cheating. So just make sure you guys have your boundaries set before the threesome.
know what it is. So it's fun. It
Yeah.
doesn't get messy.
Exactly. Have you had any messy threesomes?
Yeah, I have. Sometimes someone's just not on the same page.
Right. Like what about? Right. Like they want more or less.
Yeah, like they have ulterior motives.
Right.
Like
They want to be with your boyfriend, or
Yeah,
they want to
they
be
wanna-
with you more, or something
Yeah.
like that. What about like positions for threesomes, like stuff that you do at a threesome? Are there like certain people who've never had a threesome are just like fast? Like how does it really work?
I know. What are the best positions
Or tips for
threesome?
threesomes?
I always.
People always ask me. I don't know. I'm
Yeah, I know.
like, you just kind of figure it out. There's a penis, you suck it. There's a vagina, there's a butt, you put things in it. I don't.
Yeah, and you definitely can't. You shouldn't have a threesome if it's going to be like, oh, you were fucking her for 3 minutes. Now I need 3 minutes, or this or that. Like a lot of times when me and my boyfriend have threesomes, like me and my boyfriend have sex all the time. So I want the two of them to have more sex than me and him.
Right.
Like, why should a third person sit there while me and my boyfriend are having sex?
And you don't have the jealousy.
No, not when it's the right girl.
So you really did you ever with him at the beginning?
No, I never did. But it's got to be about the right other person.
Right.
There's definitely girls that like have made me feel a little uncomfortable, but he's very like, okay, we're not gonna mess around with her,
Right.
you know.
Yeah,
And
you
I
guys
know
are
that
so
I know
touchy.
a lot of times girls they don't do that on purpose,
No.
you know. There's just sometimes it's just the wrong look or the wrong feeling, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't know,
Are they
I
like
don't wanna have
jealous,
sex.
or they try to compete maybe? Or?
Yeah, or that sometimes people just aren't on the same page.
It's true.
I remember we had a good friend, and she's still a good friend of mine, so I'm not even saying anything
not
bad
gonna
about her.
trash
But I think she was in a. It's just different. I don't even think me and my boyfriend are in an open relationship, and we do
Right.
have friends that are in open relationships. And when you're in an open relationship, the two people, they have other boyfriends, they have
Right.
other girlfriends. It's very complicated.
It
to
is
me.
very complicated.
They start talking about it. I'm like, I don't know how you make this work. More
Right.
power to you that you do, but
Right.
I just don't understand it, we're not like that, and so I think because we're in porn and because we do have threesomes sometime, and we're not very rigid. I think she assumed we were in an open relationship
Right.
too, and like when I wasn't home, she tried
Right.
making out with him and stuff, and then when I found out about it, I was so angry and so offended. I know she didn't mean to do
Right,
anything
but she
wrong.
didn't
and
know.
She didn't know, so we had to kind of just explain everything, and I'm sure to an average person is like, how could that be weird to you when your boyfriend does porn? And I'm
Right.
like, well, it's different.
Right,
I don't know,
exactly.
it's just different.
No, I get it. You
And
got it.
so
It's the boundaries.
I know she wanted to have a threesome with us, but after that happened, I was like, okay, I just need a little bit I just need a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel weird right
Good.
now, but you have to be honest.
You do
know,
have to be
'cause
honest.
You don't. There's no way you can determine what's going to be
Right.
okay and what's not going to be okay.
So it's not like a
Yeah.
formula we're giving you for a threesome, but we're saying
Yeah.
like you need this position, that, but you're going to know, and it is kind of an organic thing. Like my
Yeah.
first threesome, I didn't know, I'd never had one, but I'm trying to remember my first one. Not that I've had that many.
You really-
I've had a handful, but you
it's
just kind
three.
of, it is three, and you kind of
You
like
have
just
to get off on the other
choreography.
person getting off.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
You can't be like, oh no, you can't be like selfish,
thinking about
you know?
oh right, like
Yeah.
he's with her for 3. You're right, you really can't, but
Yeah.
it is just feel like a dance when, and I think when
It does. It
choreo-
feels
when-
like a dance.
It just sort of flows when you're not so in your head and you're just paying attention to what's happening in your
Yeah.
body and in the moment and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that's good.
My boyfriend really gets off on me being with other women, so that definitely
That's
helps.
such
So
a
we've had
plus.
it is.
I
We've
love
had
it.
threesomes before where he's barely involved, and he's
like, I'm just gonna hang out
so
here.
happy, you know. And he's like, I think he likes it more, you know.
Right.
He's
I know,
just-
he
he thinks it's so hot, you
That's
know,
great.
which is great. And then I get turned on by being like, oh yeah, he
Right.
likes this, and I happen to really like women anyway, so it
That's
just it works
so
out.
great. You guys are like
very
perfect
nicely. Yeah, I
couple.
know,
Oh my
right?
god.
Yeah, it took a
So
while,
when
but-
you're with a woman in a threesome, are you like more dominant? Are you submissive?
I do tend to be pretty dominant with women. I don't know why.
Not with men.
No, not really.
Maybe because you're the one with more experience. Sometimes?
I don't know.
You're like, I don't want to be dominant anymore. You over it?
I've get in moods sometimes where I
Right.
want to be dominant.
I
but
agree. It's a mood thing.
But for the most part, you know, I just like to be taken for a ride.
right. I know. It's a lot more work that way. But it's fun. You get off on it.
People ask me for dominant sex scenes sometimes, so I've shot a couple, and I'm always like, man, this is so much work.
Right.
Being dominant is a
That's
lot
what
of
it's
work.
all men have to
you
all day
know?
long. They're like, what do I do right? How do I
Yeah.
do it? It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, you know.
But you can pull it off. Okay, our next question is about oral sex, which is a very important topic. One of my favorites. Okay. Hi, Emily. I've been with my girlfriend for just over a year, and things are going great. Wait, I've been with my girlfriend for just over a year, and things are going
Really
great.
good
And we
example.
also have great sex. Awesome.
Good.
My girlfriend
Yeah.
is very sexy to me, but she's a little self-conscious, and she's a few pounds over an ideal weight. I really, really love going down on her, and up until very recently, she wouldn't let me perform oral sex on her for very long. One night, she had a few drinks and let me go down on her until she came. And now she's opened up to the idea of me going down on her more frequently. I would like to build on this a bit. There are 2 activities I have some experience in and fantasize about regularly. One is her sitting on my face to the point of orgasm, and the other would be orally stimulating her ass. Okay. With her being self-conscious and also just beginning to feel more comfortable receiving oral in general, I wonder what recommendations you might have to broach the subject or to introduce these activities into our rotation. People are so specific here. Yeah. You're like, what? And her face was like, wait, there's 2? Thank you very much for your guidance. I love the podcast. Mike, age 28, Canada.
I mean,
Thank you, Mike.
would it be so difficult to just be like, sit on my face?
Right, I know. You're so right. Pull her up to your
horrible
face.
advice?
No, I mean, honestly,
Be making
I
out
feel
with her
like if
and
I've ever
start
sat in a-
fingering her and
Right.
say, sit on my, I would never turn that down.
I know, right? But you're not every woman. I'm not every woman.
Yeah.
But the truth is I think you're kind of, with a lot of these things, you just kind of with confidence, like sit on my face. And in the moment, she might say no.
Yeah.
But are you going to, my other thing would be like, you could talk about the things that you both want to try and then bring it up.
Right.
But you're right. In the moment, just be like, sit on my face.
Yeah, just in the moment when she's already aroused, you know.
Yeah.
Feel
Just be like,
I feel
God.
like if you bring it up out, you know, during dinner or whatever, it's like
Right.
she might overthink it,
Well,
especially
like
if she's
he's doing.
feeling unconfident.
And
yeah.
so maybe in the moment she was a little
the
buzzed
moment,
that time
yeah.
and she had an orgasm. Because I also want to point out the gaining weight thing. I'm wondering if that's his issue or her issue.
I
Because
know it sounds like he brought it up a few times.
and I'm not sure.
He
like,
just kept saying she had an orgasm, but she just. I didn't know
he said,
what
okay,
the
so
one
what
had
he
to
said
do
was
with the
he
other.
said that she's gained weight lately. She's not at her ideal weight. And I think he thought that she was kind of not one. You know how it is when you feel like you gained a few
Right.
pounds, you don't want to have sex. So I think he felt that she pulled back a little, but then she got a little buzzed and had this thing. So I'm not sure that like she needs to feel sexy in her own body because that's how she's going to enjoy sex. But if she's self-conscious, she's never going to be able to like let go. So I'm not sure. Again, if she did let go and just had an orgasm with you oral sex, I think we're fine. But,
Yeah,
make her
sounds
feel
like
sexy,
she's
make her
fine.
feel that you're into it. And then as far as the ass thing, I mean, you could try with a finger first.
Yeah.
Like if you've never done any ass play, like you could just try like
lick it.
lick
you know,
it. Yeah, lick
going
it.
down on her, just move down a little bit.
That's true too.
You know?
When she's on your face, let
Yeah.
me think. On your face, you
Just
could turn
move
her around.
over. Yeah.
Something. So I would just start. I mean, honestly, it sounds like you guys are pretty open. You've been together for over a year.
I should just flip her over.
Just try it.
Yeah.
And you could say, I really want to like lick your ass.
Yeah.
Or you
Be
could just
like,
do
oh,
it.
your ass looks so good right now.
But that's why I always say sometimes go slower. Maybe he just wants, if he's never ever touched it, he could just like, he could just start kissing it or kissing like her backbone and working down.
Use the tongue at first. And
Use
don't
tongue.
go all the way in.
Tongue
her
around
ass.
the rim.
Yeah, just around and see how
Lots
how
of nerve
she's
endings.
feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
She might
really like it.
I know. I think that she'll get on your face, have a few orgasms, and then she'll just be putting your hands, flip her over, lick.
Yeah.
This is good. We're
Say-
changing the world here.
Just say, sit on my face.
Right. I think just pull her over on your
Pull
face.
her over, yeah.
That's how I'm trying to think. Like, how has it happened to me? Like, it wasn't like we had a blueprint. Like, it's
Right.
9:06. You're going to sit on my face. He just
Yeah.
was like, sit on my face. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
And sometimes I would say no if I didn't feel like it.
Right.
I'd be like, no. But mostly, I'm like down.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. So many people are like, I tried it once and my partner said no. Or I asked once and he didn't do it. Listen to me, people. Changing behaviors or getting someone to try something new is not a one-time question thing. Just because you don't feel rejected from your partner because you asked once or because you got it. Sometimes it's a process.
Yeah.
So she might like here's the thing, Mike. She might say no the first time. She'll be like, I don't want to sit in your face, but that doesn't mean that it's no forever. I think that people make these assumptions. She might not be comfortable that night.
Yeah.
But there might be another time where you're like, God, really, would you want to sit on my, So just don't people get
She's
all
gonna
shut
have
down.
Fun.
It's a
She's
good
gonna
time.
have a good time.
Joanna, we know this is fun. It's her pleasure. Okay, thank you.
It's like he really wants to.
I know,
It's really
and
sweet.
that's so hot when a guy really wants to.
It's
You're
really
like,
hot.
why wouldn't
He
she
doesn't-
want to? But if
yeah.
she's feeling insecure, but he makes her feel sexy and desired, and because I know you still desire her, Mike, of course. So
Yeah. People who are overweight are allowed to have orgasms,
exactly.
You'll lose the weight. You can work on that.
You lose the weight, but keep having orgasms.
keep having orgasms in the process. You don't have to make a choice of one or the other.
Exactly. Well, people delay so much stuff. Like when I lose 5 pounds, when this happens.
Yeah.
It's like, don't delay anything in life. Like you just gotta live your life.
keep
We don't know what's
going.
gonna happen.
Right.
Okay. Good advice. Hey, Emily, I've been with my boyfriend for almost 3 years. I used to love giving blowjobs, but my boyfriend takes forever. This is like lots of O's and lots of E's and lots of R's. He takes forever to finish, which isn't a bad thing, but my poor jaw starts to hurt and cramp up. And while giving him head has become a chore, and I now avoid I avoid it all around. I know I'm good at it from experience. I need help. Elizabeth, 25, Los Angeles. We get a lot of emails from women who are like, I like it, but I'm exhausted. I don't know if I do a good job. So I feel like a lot of women think they just have to like use their mouth the whole time. When they have their tongue, they have their hands. You can use lube. You can like mix it up. Your jaw.
Why does she feel the need that she has to blow him to completion? I don't do that very
That's
often.
true. That's a good point. You
I
could just blow him for
always blow him
foreplay.
for a while and then hop on there.
Exactly. No, that's a good point too. Some guys do just take forever.
Yeah.
And it's okay, but right. Does he need you? If he really wants to like come in your mouth or something, and that's the thing, you could blow him, start having sex, and when he's about to come, you could come in your
blow
mouth.
him again.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, especially if he's been having sex with her for a while, why would he want to?
3 years.
Yeah, why would he want to come from a blowjob?
Right.
You know?
That's a good point. I mean, some guys do. Maybe she's like on her period and doesn't want sex, which I don't understand either. But I know a lot of women are like that. But I feel like you're being hard on yourself here. But if you really do just want to do it because you just want to do it, I'd say use your hands, use lots of lube, use your tongue. Do you have any like blowjob, like your favorite blowjob tips? That you're like, every time this is what I do. Like something. I feel like you might know your way around the penis.
Like thing, the snake charmer thingy.
No, tell me everything. Break it down.
Where you just. It seems like this is what most guys like. And I actually, in all honesty, anyone can know it who watches a lot of my scenes. Like, I'm a horrible deep throater. I've tried everything.
Okay, this is good.
I really don't know how to do it. Like, I give it my all.
Right.
Like, I think it's the same. I'm also horrible at taking shots, and I think it comes from the same place in your throat.
I can take shots. Maybe that. Okay.
But a lot of I don't know if they're just trying to make me feel better, but a lot of guys have told me that the deep throating doesn't actually feel that good. It just looks cool.
Right.
It's kind of, and
porn.
sometimes guys get off because they're like, whoa, this girl can put my whole dick in her mouth.
Exactly.
That's exciting. So they're kind of getting off on how it looks
but
exciting.
They're not going to
but the actual feeling, I find that what most
Snake charmer. Go, I'm obsessed.
most
What is
guys, yeah, where you just you get the dick like really wet, you know, and then you just use both of your hands and you like twist them around like a corkscrew.
Right, both
you know?
going different ways.
Yeah,
kinda.
going different ways.
Up and down?
You know? Yeah, up and down. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like
Right, and
up
your mouth
down.
doesn't have to be. You can put your mouth on the tip if your jaw's
Yeah,
getting
you
tired.
put your mouth on the tip. Yeah.
So your hands are going like they're both hands on the penis, going
yeah,
up
get
and down,
it really,
different
really
directions.
wet.
Yeah,
So I guess
use
a lot
lube.
of my blowjobs are
Hand job.
70% hand jobs.
Right,
you
every
know?
blowjob started as an
Come
orphan
to
hand
think
job
of it,
anyway,
yeah.
right?
I start with my mouth, you know, just to get it really, really wet, you know, and then I just like basically, I think the most sensitive part of the penis is on the tip, right?
Yeah, well, it's the tip and then the frenulum, which is the ridge on the bottom side right beneath the tip.
Yeah.
But the tip is the most sensitive, and then you got the frenulum.
So
but yeah, the tip.
using a lot of tongue and just your mouth on the tip and hands.
Exactly. Lick around the tip. Your jaw will not get tired, and use your hands going in separate. We should do like a video of you showing with the hands. We're gonna put this on Instagram. A little video of her showing the hands.
It seems to work a lot.
Yeah,
I even notice if I'm doing a sex scene with a guy who's kind of having a rough day and he doesn't have an erection, like immediately if I do that on almost anyone for a couple minutes, it usually wakes up.
It usually wakes up just because. What do you think it is? Because it's the pressure and it's the two hands. No, you're right.
I don't know what it is. There's
snake charmer.
Yeah, that's what my boyfriend calls it. He calls it the snake.
Oh my
charmer.
God! So any penis will wake up in your hands when you do the snake charmer.
Yeah, I've had. I mean, knock on wood.
right. Knock on wood.
Because it happens sometimes when porn guys are just having a bad day. It's a stressful job. For
It is
guys.
stressful.
It's a very stressful job. So I've noticed that.
Have you
if
ever-
I ever do that, if I'm like, oh fuck, and everyone's already got that look on their face, like, all right,
You're like, bring out the
what's
snake
gonna happen?
charmer.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, give me a minute.
You're like, I got this.
I got it. Everybody, just calm down.
And that works every time. But it's such a
seems to
simple.
work, yeah.
Okay, check out. We're gonna do a video of this. This
Yeah.
is great. But what about any other tips like that I need to know? And we need to know about the penis or the vagina. Like, what about is there an oral sex tip on going down a women trick that works a lot for you?
I think for women, I feel like women, you just have to find their spot. And the spot is either on the outside or it's on the inside. You
mean
know?
clitoris or G-spot?
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think with women, like, if their spot's on the outside, you gotta just feel around, and when the girl starts getting excited, just stay there.
Stay on that spot.
Stay on that spot, whatever it is.
Softly,
just don't
like
move.
finger,
Yeah,
like
soft,
tongue?
then get harder, and and then
Right.
on the inside, I find that like usually if you kind of curve your fingers a little bit,
Right.
you kind of reach in there, like you'll find
You find it.
You
You find it.
gotta
Just be
find
patient.
it. The worst thing is when someone finds it and they leave.
Right. You're like, come back. Where'd you go?
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Right, that
Now
was
you're,
good.
like, on the other side.
Right,
Now
exactly.
we're starting all over
Which
again.
part of me moaning and screaming? Well, this is the
Yeah.
miscommunication that sometimes guys, women, we're not paying attention. So
Yeah.
maybe
This
if
isn't
it
like
felt
sex.
good.
This isn't a sex scene where we need 3 positions.
Right, go back.
Yeah.
You could say also
Yeah.
if you've experienced this, you could say, "Babe, that felt so good what you were doing a second ago."
I just
direct
straight
them
up
back.
say I'm like if a guy or a girl is like doing a good job and then they move, I'm
You're
just like no, go back.
Go back.
I'll say that.
Exactly. See, Joanne, I love that you're just so like this is so because you're like kind of like really these people are thinking this. Just do it. There is something
I'm
to
the
that
worst.
though. No, but I don't think because I'm the same way. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, do this, do that, but it's because that's how we've been.
Yeah,
And you've had.
but a lot of it comes from to go
Confidence.
back. Yeah, from confidence. Like you don't really have it in you to say that stuff until you're confident,
Right. And you could also just try it and see how it goes, even if you don't feel confident.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be happy because
You will.
I
You'll
know
be
that I
happy
hear
with the
from men and
results.
women, they're like, I just want to know what he wants or she wants. So that's a way of saying what you want. You know what a relief that is? Like, first of all, what is the drawback to saying go back to that spot that felt good? Your partner's trying to please you. They didn't move to like be mean. They weren't like moving from your hot spot. If you say that moment, wow, that felt good over there, or get back over there, they're psyched.
Yeah.
They know what to do.
I know.
So just say it.
And I think being honest is important. I know that for years I was giving really horrible blowjobs. It just took the right person to be like, hey, that doesn't feel good.
Okay, so tell me about, I get these, okay, what was the horrible blowjob?
And it was really traumatizing when it was happening, but
See, we get these emails a lot. So what was the horrible blowjob? Can you give me an example of what you were doing?
I'm trying to think. I think I was just kind of putting my mouth on it and not
Just, like,
really moving
no
around.
pressure,
You
no
have to
suction?
know, this was before, like, things are so easy to find out now,
I
you
know.
know? I didn't watch any porn. I didn't really have friends I could ask. I
Right.
don't know. I didn't talk to my girlfriends
Right.
about sex.
Me
We
neither.
just
Up
didn't.
until
I don't
later.
know
Right.
why. I think
Right.
I was jealous that they were having it and I wasn't, so I just didn't want to hear about it.
Right. No, but then you learn. You can get better at it.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
you can
it
always.
just took
It's a skill.
me. I felt like I just kind of put my mouth on there and didn't really do very much, or I didn't use my hands. I didn't really get
Hands
it.
are big, right? How would you?
I
Right? You're like,
don't
do I
know.
blow? Like it's a blow. Like,
yeah,
you don't
like
know.
what do I do?
No one
you
tells.
know?
Right.
And so yeah, it just took someone being like, "That just does. Can you do this? It doesn't feel good what you're doing." Just took
And then
someone being honest with me.
Right. Be honest.
Yeah. How was I supposed to know? I don't have a dick.
Right.
you
We
know?
don't know. I mean,
The
eventually
first time
you learn.
I went down on a woman, it made sense because I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to
Exactly.
do to this
It's like-
person what I would do to myself."
Right.
That makes sense. to
That was
me.
really easy.
But
Right.
what did I know?
Right, you're
I mean,
right.
it's so easy to find things out now.
Right, it's
like
true.
weird. It's like it was like I was a caveman or something. Or when you're around,
Right.
When I was giving blowjobs to people before Twitter.
Right. Right. Pre-Twitter, guys. It
pre-Twitter.
wasn't always around.
Yeah,
Podcast weren't always around. Right. No, how would you know? You're right. I
know
wonder
what
if
to
I
do.
ever. I mean, I remember my first one. I was like 6 to 8 braces, and my boyfriend at the time was like, I was with him for a year and he wanted a blowjob so bad. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
getting him off next week. And he like, I remember my
You're
first
right.
one, he just made me do it. I had braces. Like, I
Aw.
know. I didn't
Yeah, I would put my I think I
like
heard
this
somebody say
16.
don't use your teeth, so I put my mouth completely over my teeth. And I'm
Right.
I don't know what I was doing.
Right.
I really
we
didn't
don't know, but you learn, you get
Didn't
feedback.
know.
So that's why it's good to give feedback. Check out my site. Check out Joanna giving actual blowjobs on her site, or everyone else giving blowjobs on your site.
Yeah, use your hands. Use your hands.
Yeah,
it's
hands are
fine.
big.
The sensitive
It's fine
spot.
to use your hands, right?
fine to use
Balls.
your hands.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about balls?
I like licking balls, just like occasionally.
Yeah, not the whole time.
Not the
but-
whole time. It's just like you visit them once every 3 minutes.
Right.
Or so.
I forgot about them for years.
Yeah,
I had a
me
really
too.
bad experience once. Like, I was like, I hit someone's
Like they were
balls.
too
I always call it
sweaty.
my post-traumatic ball disorder phase, where I was like, I like just pretended they didn't exist. I was like, I blocked them out of my mind. And then finally I was like,
It's
"Oh,
complicated. You're like, what do I do with them?
I don't know.
Where,
Right.
Where do I go?
Softly. And then
You
someone was
could-
like, it's like those Ben Wall balls. You put in your hand and you gently hold them. And then
Yeah.
one guy showed me.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, okay. Then sometimes you can put them in your mouth.
Yes.
Lightly suck
Yeah,
them
lightly.
in. Like,
Use your tongue.
but not all the time. Like, then I forget. I'm like, oh, shit, the balls. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to his balls in a month. It's like, I have to have a calendar.
I need
like
to revisit them.
Right.
Every
Visit
Tuesday.
the balls the third Tuesday of every month. Okay, we've got one more question. This is awesome. Hi, Emily. Usually I wouldn't ask anyone for help. Typical guy, I can fix it. But
We
anyway,
had more men writing in than I
do.
expected.
Yeah, we
I
got a
thought it was
lot
gonna
of
be all
men.
Women.
yeah, are these all men? Say we got some women, but yeah, we got a lot of men and women. But men
It's
are like they
nice
don't talk to their
know.
friends.
Yeah, it's so nice to know they really care about pleasing
Yeah,
women.
that's what
very
the questions are about. They all
Yeah.
want to know how to please,
Yeah.
or they're worried about their penis.
Yeah.
But we're fine with your penis, guys. Penis size is fine. Okay, Emily. Usually, I wouldn't ask. Typical guy. I think I can fix it. Anyway, I'm engaged, and our sex life blows, and not in the good way. She doesn't give head, doesn't receive head, doesn't do anal, doesn't want to try anything new in the bedroom. So it's basically either I'm on top or she's on top. Me personally, I'm into a lot of things and I'm up to try new things. Plus, outside the bedroom, I don't get shown any affection. The only time I get shown affection is the time she decides I'm good enough to have sex with. My phrasing, not hers. I'm just lost on what to do. I feel like I'm the guy she needs around to help with our kids. Lately, I've been wondering if she's cheating. Anything would help. Tristan, age 29, Illinois. And they're engaged and they have kids and he's 29 and they're having the sex life seems abysmal. So I'm
It
concerned.
sounds like it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, that's my concern. I was going
Yeah.
to say if you're not married, then don't get married.
Yeah,
I mean,
was
honestly,
gonna
that's my
say,
first thing.
How
but
are
with
you going to
kids,
feel? You know, like
there's a lot of work here. I mean,
Yeah.
because if at the
how did
beginning,
they even get this far?
I don't know. But there's kids. Exactly. Like she's not into anything you're into, and you're just going to be frustrated. And what I don't like
so,
here,
and then he might wind up cheating eventually,
Right.
You know, that's no, and then it sounds like
she
it
said
sounds
to
very
him,
sad.
but she's also using sex as a bargaining tool. She's saying,
That's disgusting.
she's saying if he's good enough to have sex with. So I feel like he's really not helping. She's not helping your self esteem, Tristan, and she's not willing to compromise on sex. Is like you got to have the conversations, and you got. I mean, these are like she won't give head, she won't receive. I mean, these are. I'm just telling you, Tristan. I know you're like probably thinking. Sex, you know, it's only sex. We have kids, and life is good. Sex is the
Sex
glue. Sex is so important.
is what separates you from your friends.
Right.
You know, it's like it sounds like you have more of a bitchy roommate,
right.
than a caring, than a girlfriend,
Right.
But that's what
This might need some therapy because
Yeah.
I see a lot of things in here. And Tristan, I know
mean,
you probably have insurance. You can get a few sessions. People are like, oh, therapy is a big thing. It's not because the fact that you have children, I'm not going to say like break off the engagement yet, but what I am going to say is that you go see a sex therapist. These things will not change, but there's also her saying you're not good enough to have sex with. So that's damaging your self-esteem, and I don't like the way she's speaking to you. And so there's a lot, and you're wondering if she's cheating. It sounds like there's a lot going on here.
And this is all they're engaged. This is supposed to be the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, this is like when things are good. You're planning the wedding.
If they've already been married for 5 years and things are, bad, that's different. Like, you're engaged.
Right.
You're supposed
you're
to
29,
be fucking
you're young.
like bunnies. Like,
right, exactly.
You're supposed to be, I'm sure having kids changes things, but you should be really into each other right now.
Right. They should be, but they also have kids. But when people have kids, that does throw a wrench in it. I get it, but it's all I'm saying. If you don't nip this in the bud now, however, you say we have to put this on hold till we go sort this out. But I don't think like 1 or 2 talks with her is going to help, which is why I think you need a third party, because you do have kids. He's feeling like she's just using him for the kids. He's like, I think she just wants me around to help with the kids. Like, none of this is a good foundation for marriage.
Do you think they're her kids, or are they their kids?
He says our kids. He says she needs help with our kids.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things going on. She might have some resentments built. Maybe she feels like she needs more help, but it's not you. Maybe you need a nanny. Maybe she feels like depressed, postpartum. Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe
but
she doesn't feel good about herself.
This is why we need some help.
It needs to be stated. This is a problem.
Right.
We can't go on like this.
Exactly. Like this is.
I wouldn't go. Don't approach her and say, "Are you cheating?" Because that's gonna. She'll feel attacked.
Right.
Even if you have that feeling, that can come out later after you start talking about your problems. Like sometimes I wonder if you're cheating on me, but don't
start with that, because she'll shut down. Just say I think what you should say is like, I've really been thinking about this a lot lately, and I just I'm really missing this connection with you, this intimacy. Like, because he's saying he's not getting affection outside either. Like he wants to hold her hand when they're in public, whatever it is, or make out. He's not getting affection, blowjobs, sex, and she's being verbally like abusive. I think so. You can say to her, "I'm not feeling intimately connected to you, and I'm worried about some of these things, and I know we love each other, and I think we need to get some help." Mm-hmm. And if she refuses and she doesn't want to talk about it,
or at least try to talk about it with each other.
Yeah, you could try first without going to therapy. You could say, listen, you could even play her this show. I mean, if you want. Or, I mean, a lot of couples listen together. That's how they help because it's really hard to have these conversations, Tristan. I get it. So you can just open it up and be like, listen.
And you get into a routine and you're like, I'll tell her tomorrow.
Right.
I'll tell her tomorrow. I'll say Tristan, after breakfast.
Do
I'll
this
do it
now.
when the kids are at school.
Do it this weekend or when the kids are sleeping. Just say, listen, I've been really concerned lately. I want to tell you how I've been feeling. And the more that we use feeling words.
Therapy, they say use an I statement.
An I statement, not a you.
Statement.
Don't attack. You don't hug me. You won't give me blowjobs.
Just like I feel. You can't come down on someone for how they feel. So you say, I feel hurt. I feel disconnected
rejected,
from you.
Disconnected. Right.
What do we do about this? Not you. Don't put
exactly
it.
Right. What do we do? You're exactly right. What are your suggestions? I understand that you're straight. What do we do? And then just put it out there. So you could try that. Maybe she might have a lot to say about this. If you guys have not had one of these real, true, intimate conversations in a while, it sounds like that's a great way to start. Yeah. See where it goes. But good luck with this, Tristan. And
good luck. Don't rush
into
marriage when you can't even. Hold hands.
Hold hands and get blowjobs. I'm really sad.
That is.
Okay.
Sad.
Joanna, this is so fun.
Yeah,
thank you.
We're all flew by. I feel like I was here for 5 minutes.
I know. Well, this is why we're going to do some more shows.
Yeah.
I love this. Wow.
It's like we knew each other in a past life.
I think we did.
I think we did.
We're both like, I know. And you're like,
we
literally
might
like
be
me.
like
We're like
the
the same
person.
I know. We might be. We're going to find out after. But check out everything at so JoannaAngel.com. If you are into like sexy people having sex and porn, Joanna is a great site. Very popular.
A lot of couples like watching my porn together. So to put it out there, if you are a guy looking for the right porn to watch with your girlfriend, go to burningangel.com.
Let's talk about that. Why do you think that is couple friendly? Because people always do ask this. It's a great suggestion.
I don't know. And the funny thing is we never made quote porn for couples.
Right.
And a lot of stores that carry porn for couples won't carry my porn because there's not like a ton of foreplay or. I don't even know. This is so weird what people have decided that couples and women love, which is so far off.
So right, exactly.
But I don't know. A lot of
what's your favorite porn? If
movie.
they've never been to your site, which one would you send them to? Sorry, a lot of pressure. I know you've got like thousands.
That's a lot of pressure. I got so many.
You could think about it.
Yeah,
Just go there.
Yeah,
see
just
what you
go
like. Poke
there,
around.
see what you like. A lot of couples do like watching the movies that I've made with plots in them because they think they can watch the plot, joke about it together. Then they get like aroused during the sex scene, and then they could go back to kind of talking about it like it's a movie night.
Right, it's a movie night. Get some popcorn, like Netflix, Joanna, Burning Angel and Chill.
Yeah.
So so it's at Joanna Angel on Instagram and Twitter, and the website burningangel.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome.
This was a lot of fun.
I know, this is great.
Hopefully I'll
Okay,
be
thank
back.
you everyone for listening and for supporting our sponsors. And thank you, producer Madison. Thank you, Eddie, Lori, and Jamie. I have a great team. And thanks everyone for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.